Welcome to the Do Good X podcast, a sanctuary from the entrepreneurial grind. Hosts Kimberly Danielle and Stephen Lewis, advocates for impactful entrepreneurship, guide you on the path where purpose meets business. Join us to slow down, reconnect, and explore the challenges of under-resourced entrepreneurs, uncovering the unique journey of building businesses that make a difference. Now, your host.
Welcome to the Do Good X podcast. My name is Stephen Lewis, and I'm a catalyst for positive change in communities and businesses. And for over 2 decades, I have inspired leaders and entrepreneurs to live and work with purpose, with intention, faith, and a commitment to their well-being. And I'm joined today with my colleague and my co-host, Kimberly Danielle. Hey, Kimberly.
Hi, Stephen. I am Kimberly Danielle, and I'm a communication strategist, a coach, and community builder who comes from generations of faith-driven leaders and entrepreneurs who believe that our purpose should drive us to contribute to the common good. In the next several episodes, we'll be talking about technology, AI, and its ethical use. And this is obviously a conversation that is so relevant for the times we are living in right now. Today, we want to explore specifically with technology and AI as entrepreneurs. Are we building for good or are we building just for growth? That is such a key question. And with technology and especially AI advancing at such a rapid rate, this isn't just a question that's for tech founders or businesses. It's for every entrepreneur, especially those of you who are focused on social impact, which are founders who aim to do good through your business by positively impacting the lives of individuals, communities, and or the environment, which will come up in our conversation around this particular topic. Stephen, anything you want to add before we just dive in?
Yeah, I mean, part of what I think all this kind of raises are these bigger ethical questions, like, what are the ethical issues? And particularly as it pertains to digital amplification, algorithmic biases, cybersecurity, privacy, inclusiveness, concerning AI and who gets to determine what is ethical or not. I think also, it brings up issues around the environment, particularly with, significant energy consumption and data centers and AI models, increased greenhouse gases and emissions from fossil fuels, substantial water usage for cooling data centers, and a generation of hazardous electronic waste from hardware using AI systems. And so I think, again, what are the environmental issues regarding our use of AI? And to what extent do we turn a blind eye to these environmental concerns for the sake of tech for growth and progress in the short term as well as the long term?
Right.
So when we talk about tech for growth, especially AI, this is typically focused on speed, scale, efficiency, and revenue that these tools can help achieve. And a simple example of this is looking at kind of the automation of customer services to cut costs. Tech for Good, however, asks the question, how do these technologies serve people and communities in positive ways? What ethical concerns or opportunity costs are associated with these technologies? And if any, how should we address them? So one of the questions is tech for good really even good if it can possibly solve operational environmental issues long term, when currently in the short term, it is bad for the environment and for our operations? There's a tension that can exist between tech for good and tech for growth, because sometimes the fastest path to profit isn't necessarily what's good for people or our environment in the long run. So it can lead to things like job displacement, inequality, and amplification biases, but can also contribute to deep environmental risk as well.
Yes, and these are all things, Stephen, that we're already starting to see happen with AI. And it's such a trend, I feel, with businesses jumping on board to either create a product using AI or to incorporate AI in their businesses without really taking the time to consider and think about how will this impact my customers, our customers? How will this impact my team? How would this impact the communities around us and the environment? So this is such an important question. And I will say, though, even though there's a lot of harm that technology can bring, and AI specifically, there are also companies that are intentional about tech for growth and for good. So one example that I came upon recently is this organization called Rainforest Connection. It's a nonprofit that is in the United States, but its work is international. And their focus is on protecting rainforests and their biodiversity using AI. They deploy solar-powered devices that are built from recycled smartphones and use those in treetops to listen to forest sounds 24/7. And it uses AI to analyze the audio in real time to identify threats and halt illegal logging and poaching, which also impacts the environment when people are, when people are going after animals and cutting down trees. That's also impacting our environment. So this is one organization that I came upon that really stood out to me, and leveraging their work, leveraging technology and AI for good, and being mindful of the ways that they use it, mindful of the materials that they're also using in order to further protect the environment. And there are some businesses that are incorporating AI in ways that do support people within their organizations. The Chamber of Commerce has this data point where it says that 82% of small businesses using AI increased their workforce over the past year, directly linking technology use with job creation and growth. So while there are tons of businesses, and maybe those might be those larger businesses, tons of businesses that are incorporating AI, and we're seeing a lot of jobs being removed and people getting laid off and all types of things. There are businesses who are incorporating this into their companies and creating more opportunities for people. AI and technology does not replace a human. And some it can support our work, but in these cases, they are using it as an opportunity to create jobs. These are just examples that reflect how you could actually do good leveraging AI, leveraging technology, and there are tons more. But it's a choice. It's an intentional choice and a commitment that should be really rooted in your values and the impact that you want to make. How do you want people to talk about your company? How do you want people to talk about your products or services? How do you want people to talk about you? So this is really something to consider.
Yeah, and I think, at the end of the day, it's really about how you are a conscious user of the technology, recognizing that, a lot will change over the next several years and decades to come. And at the same time, how do we actually be more aware of how we use that technology in spite of all the kind of, environmental concerns that people have, which are legitimately so. And also recognizing that we're part of this revolutionary, or I should say, we're part of this technological revolution where we know that this is going to be a particular technology that will be with us for many years and decades to come.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Danielle.
And I'm Stephen Lewis, and we're the co-founders of Do Good X.
If you are building a purpose-driven business and generating $60,000 or more annually, this fall, we have created something just for you. It's an experience designed to help you scale with clarity and support.
And so from November 6th through 8th, We're gathering a small group of underestimated, impact-focused social entrepreneurs for an intimate weekend here in Atlanta.
This is the launch of Do Good X's mastermind community, starting with this in-person retreat. This is a chance to really decelerate from the hustle, reconnect with your inner wisdom, and align with mentors and tools to grow your business in ways that honor your values, but also your well-being.
And you'll walk away with renewed clarity, expert insights, real relationships, and an action plan to scale your impact without burning out.
And for those of you who are ready to go deeper, you'll be invited into our 6-month mastermind experience, a coaching and education journey rooted in purpose, faith, and community.
Spots are limited, and we invite you to dogoodx.org/mastermind community to learn more and apply today.
We can't wait to welcome you to Atlanta in November.
So if you lean into AI or tech for growth, what you might discover is, yes, you might be able to scale quickly, but you could also lose the trust of your customers intentionally or unintentionally, cause harm in the work that you're trying to do. In the end, it's all about aligning with two things. How do you use technology for the good that you want to do? And how do you leverage technology for the growth that you want to have in responsible and ethical ways? So let growth fuel the good that you do, and let the good that you do increase your growth. And do both of them responsibly, ethically, and ways that are environmentally friendly as best as you can. The data shows that tech adoption is nearly universal at a point of 96% of small business owners plan to adopt emerging technologies like AI in the next few years. The question isn't if you'll adopt it. The bigger question is, how will you align with it, with your values and the impact that you want to make in environmentally sustainable ways?
Yeah, so I think it's important to, leave you all with just a few quick things to consider and keep in mind when you are thinking about that alignment of good and growth. One is build with intention. Consider the questions that Stephen asked. Consider the questions that I asked around who benefits, who or what could be harmed by the use of AI or technology in your business, and how might you mitigate risk? So build with intention. The second piece is measure your impact. So track how your business and its use of tech or AI is impacting people's jobs, is impacting time, well-being, the environment, and not just your revenue. So get clear about those other pieces and how you measure the good or the impact, which may surface that you are intentionally harming people or harming the environment. And so it's important to measure that so that you can go back and you can assess and you can shift or pivot where you need to. And the last piece is stay curious. So, as Steve and I both mentioned, tech and AI, they're evolving fast. By the time you listen to the end, you get through this podcast episode, I'm sure there's going to be something else new that is out that wasn't out when you started listening to this episode. So, it's evolving. So keep learning, experiment responsibly, and listen to your team and your customers, because that will help you to determine what is aligned, what feels right. And that's also why you hold your values.
Mm-hmm. And if this conversation got you thinking, maybe have you saying, maybe thinking about something different as it relates to your approach to technology and AI, share this episode with other entrepreneurs in your network who are wrestling with the same questions and ideas about how to move forward thoughtfully and responsibly in your use of this technology. And if you're looking for more resources and support for your entrepreneurial journey, visit dogoodx.org.
I hope you all stay tuned. We have some great episodes coming up behind this, a wonderful guest who will dive into AI, the conversation around AI and its ethical use, and some future opportunities that we'll be getting into at Do Get Act. So I hope you stay tuned, especially if this is a question that you're wrestling with. But until then, be well and do good.
Thank you for listening to the Do Good X podcast. To continue the conversation or access our resources, visit www.dogoodx.org. Join us again for conversations that will nourish your soul, ignite your dreams, and empower you to build an impactful business, one intentional step at a time. Until then, keep striving, thriving, and doing good.